What is going on, everybody? The international break is almost over. Only a couple more days to go. It's been a long time since we've streamed. It feels like a long time anyway. I think the end of the last game week on the Sunday. And so we're back, and I feel really rusty. I feel like I haven't done this for a long time. I had to set everything up again because I stupidly put loads of stuff in the recycle bin. And saved some stuff but moved it folders. So I had to set everything up again. Feel rusty, but hopefully we're going to get into this and start chatting lots of FPL. I've still not wildcarded. I don't know if I'm going to. I know some people are saying it's too late now. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. I'm still unsure, but I did see something quite interesting on Fantasy Football Scout, which should tell me that I should probably wildcard. Yeah, we'll go through that later on. So before we start, as always, I'm going to start with a sponsor message, and then we'll get into the swing of things. Thanks very much to fantasyfootballscout.co.uk for sponsoring the stream. If you've not already checked them out, I'm sure a lot of you have, make sure to click the link in the description below. Check out all their members stuff. It's £15 for the whole year, so still plenty of time to make use of that. Loads of free articles and stuff over there as well, so make sure to check that out. Otherwise, this is my horrible team that everyone is hating right now. No wildcard still, yet, maybe. I've got a feeling that even if I was to wildcard next week, I would probably wildcard into a very similar team as I would this week. So that potentially tells me something about it. So yeah, let's go into the questions. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about what I could or couldn't wildcard into. If questions are asked, I'll answer them. Going for a few key players which probably need to get rid of. King is frustrating because obviously Wilson is doing so much better, even though he's got the same fixtures, of course, playing up front, but drifting quite wide. Mkhitaryan, we don't know if he's going to play. Bailly needs to go. ALONSO is definitely coming in for me this week. It's just, how do I do it? Mkhitaryan to a 5.9 or below, and Bailly to ALONSO is currently my favoured way to do it. And if Walcott's fit, then I may just stay as I am and just make that -4 hit, and I think that's okay. Salah and Mane, yes, they got Spurs. Spurs missing Lloris and Ali. Son, is he back fit yet? And then they've got Southampton at home, which I think is a good fixture. So yes, Hazard's good. Yes, David Silva's good, but I don't know if I massively need to get rid of Mane to get over them in just yet. But obviously over the course of the next 4 fixtures, maybe. So yeah, I could wildcard, I may still do, but right now I've not. Yeah, Wilson potentially going up in price. Did you miss the quiz? Not yet, that's coming later on. Question on Fulham, is Mitrovic the only player worth having? Yeah, I think Schürrle at 5.9 is a good option. Seri, I'm not too sure about him personally. Maybe been a bit lucky with the attacking returns he's got, but Schürrle, I think he's shooting enough to, if he can keep up the amount of shots he's having, he's definitely going to keep returning. 5.9 million is a good price. And the thing is, like, obviously people saying it's an awful team, like, I don't think there's, the goalkeepers, whatever, like, yes, I could change them, I don't think it's that much of an issue. If Zaha's going to play, I think he's fine. Aguero's fine. Salah and Mane for the next 2 I think are okay. And Mendy and Robertson are fine too. And I'm going to get ALONSO in for a -4. So once I've got those players, who absolutely needs to go? I don't know if there is that many players, to be honest, that 100% must get rid of. Like Hazard, barely shooting in the box, likes to troll people. He goes through these little runs, everyone gets him in, then he doesn't do so well. But I will say under Sarri, he seems a bit happier, at least from interviews and stuff. He's talking about how much they're attacking and how he didn't get to do that under other managers. So, yeah, definitely a little bit worried about Hazard. But then I got Mane, and Mane nearly did as well as him last week. I think there was 1 point in it, so... And he's cheaper. Zaha flag should be removed. Yeah, I mean, he was in training, but he only started training today, so it's a little bit worrying about him. But with Benteke not in, maybe he'll play. Yeah, as people are pointing out, there's 5 polls up tonight. 4 of them taken... Or is there 5? Yeah, 5 polls, all taken from, apart from 1, taken from you on Twitter. So, best midfielder under 7 million. Should I wildcard? I think I know what the answer to that will be. What to do with Mkhitaryan. Keep Robertson over the tougher fixtures, and what you do with Salah. So, people still looking at getting Salah in or out. Or mostly out. Those saying again that I need the wildcard. I'm going to show you something interesting on the members area on Fantasy Football Scout in a minute. What was the Fantasy Football Scout article? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm worried not having Mane, and I'm a Liverpool fan as well. No Mane is kind of killing me. I mean, I do think at some point Mane, you know, his stats would say that he might regress at some point, or he should regress at some point. But obviously when that is, we don't know. Like, Alonso can't keep getting that many assists with so few chances created. But do I want to take the risk that that regression starts against Cardiff? Probably not. How late to the stream are you? Only a few minutes. How can we possibly listen to your advice to that team? You don't have to. That's the beauty of this. You can just turn off. Maddison, Richarlison, or Mitrovic? Well, this week Maddison, because Richarlison's not going to play, and Mitrovic has got Man City. I mean, longer term, Leicester's fixtures are pretty nice. Maddison's a player I think I would get in. Stephen, how's it going, my man? I'm not sure if there's any gross news I've not seen, but people in the chat will tell me. Talking about the thing you just said about the wildcard team, I'll show you soon. Do you think it's too early for Vardy? Nope. Fixtures are there, good price. Usually quite consistent. I don't think Leicester have been that attacking, but they have played Man United and Liverpool. Lingard or Maddison? Probably Maddison. Although, when I was looking at potentially putting a Richarlison placeholder in for a wild card, I was trying to squeeze Lingard in. Did I think about Robertson and Mickey out for Maddison and Alonso? I did, yeah. It's not a bad idea, to be honest. I just don't know if I'm in a huge rush to get rid of my Liverpool players. I know a lot of people are looking at the next 4, possible rotation. I just think... let me just double check it a sec. I think... Because they won the League Cup you'd imagine they're probably not going to play a full strength team in that League Cup game, although it is against Chelsea, so maybe. So if they're not going to play in that game and they're not going to play in the Southampton game, then it's 11 days between matches. So I think that most of the first 11 are going to play in one of those 2 matches. And you'd imagine Klopp would focus on the league instead of the League Cup, especially with how well they've started. So for me, I'm not too convinced they're going to get like full rest. Yeah, okay, they could get reduced minutes. Maybe Mane or Salah, one or the other, will get benched and come on. But 11 days between matches this early on in the season, maybe you want to keep momentum going. Howard, thanks very much. Yeah, I know you are. I'm only messing as well. What do I think about Alonso captain? I mean, my opinion on defensive captain options doesn't really ever change. Of course, he looks good for defensive returns and potentially attacking returns this week, but you know, he has been a little bit unlucky, I think, with his attacking returns. I don't think it would stop me getting him in, but if he loses the clean sheet from like a dodgy goal or something, then that's a bit frustrating. So I think the ceiling's not high enough on a defender. I think, of course, if he does get a goal, clean sheet, 3 bonus, then he's starting to hit the heights of a forward getting a hat trick. I just think the chances are a lot less, of course. The stream like blew up 750 watching. Last stream I think was 1500. So it's actually gone down loads this week. I've noticed that actually on most of the videos, it's all gone down a bit this week. International break and all that. Your indecisiveness is going to kill you this season. I mean, surely not choosing not to wildcard because you think your team is going to be fine is being decisive about not wildcarding. Do I... Techers. Oh, nice. Thanks very much for the £1. Nice avatar, by the way. Vivi. What a legend. Thoughts on Lukaku? I really like Lukaku. I think he's looking good right now. I think Man United are probably looking a bit better than people giving him credit for. But 11 million is very hard to fit him. I don't understand why you're against defensive captains. Surely it is equally frustrating when an attacking captain blanks. Yeah, of course. You don't ever want your captains back. I just think it's more likely to happen with a defender. Which is why it would be frustrating. I mean, let's be honest. Alonso's done really well, but he's not going to keep up 11 points per game the whole season. That's going to drop. Won't have any Wolves players. I started with Jota and then got rid of him. Just haven't really needed to get one in. A defender would be a good option on a wildcard, I think. Hazard or Aguero as captain. I know Hazard looks good and it's a good fixture against Cardiff, but I still think Aguero is far and away above him. Maybe not far and away, but I still think Aguero is the standout this week. Unless in the back of your mind you've got the thought that he may be rested, rotated, whatever you want to call it, then maybe you could go for Hazard instead. But after what happened in Game Week 2, I don't want to be second guessing whether Aguero is going to start. So for me, even if I wildcarded now and got Hazard in, I would still captain Aguero, absolutely. Chelsea have had 8 shots at home this season. Alonso's had 4 of them. Damn. He does like a good shot, that's for sure. No Argentina for Aguero. Yeah, exactly. He's had a full rest, yeah. Go Patricio if you want a 4.5 million keeper. Yeah, I think Patricio would probably be on my wild card unless I decided to go for a Wolves defender. But yeah, Hart. I don't think I would go Hart on a 4 million because, like you say, I don't know. He's doing okay, but I think with Heaton and whoever when they're fit, they're probably better keepers. No Brazil for Jesus either. Yeah, I know, but Aguero's been nailed on so far, so don't see why that would suddenly change now, but you never know. Would I rather change Walcott or Mkhitaryan? If they're both fit, then I would probably change Mkhitaryan first because I'm fairly confident Walcott would start if he's fully fit, whereas Mkhitaryan, we just don't know. We just don't know of Arsenal in general. They could quite easily start again with Lacazette and Aubameyang this week. I kind of read what Emery said about them and their kind of general team, but it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, and I didn't come out reading it and thinking whether it was more likely or less likely that Lacazette was going to start. Aguero and Jesus have played together, I won't worry. Yeah, I'm not worried about Aguero, honestly, so that's why I think he's a better option than Hazard. Have you heard what Leroy Sané has called his son? I have, although I couldn't remember now. I did see a tweet saying... Oh, it's something about an England player and like a lager or something. Something Stella, is it? I saw someone saying, take your favourite England player and your favourite lager and put them together, and that's how he got his name. Is it a dumb idea to have Mane, Salah, Hazard, Aguero, Mendy, Robertson, Alonso and Holebas and have a terrible bench? I mean, it's not a dumb idea, but obviously it's going to hurt you if they do get rotated or miss games and you have to rely on your bench, but I mean, the amount of times you have to rely on 3 bench players is very low, even around Champions League and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm sure you've discussed this to death. Have I hit the wildcard? I have not. I should have put that on the screen somewhere. Asking in capital letters doesn't get you a quicker answer, just a heads up. I'm just going to do the Patreon stuff as well a sec while I remember it, because I don't want to miss it again. Like the awful person that I am. So thanks very much to the producers, Dean P, Madcheck, Alex C, Kenneth DT, Connor S, Andreas G, Matthew, Hayden H and Melissa B, who's a new patron. So thanks very much. Remember, part of the perks is if you want to get something discussed on stream, just send me a message through Patreon and I'll get that sorted for you. And if anyone else wants to check it out, link is in the description below. I think I forgot to do that last time or the time before. Bad person. Would I transfer out Mane and Richarlison just to make... I mean, you still got Richarlison, probably worth keeping at this point. Again, maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on one fixture, the Southampton game, but... And I know I've said this on the Scoutcast and videos and stuff, but if you look at Liverpool's fixtures in blocks, then the next two I think are okay. Spurs is not the greatest, of course, but I think they can do well there. And then Southampton's a good fixture. Then after that, it's a bit tougher. So I don't know if they're a huge risk to keep right now. Are the mugs being made yet? Don't ask me about those mugs. Yeah. I'm working on it. If anyone can do mug designs and print them and send out mugs, get in contact with me. You're in your wildcard, 3-4-3 Mitrovic or 3-5-2 of Maddison and Richarlison. I think without seeing the rest of the team, I'd probably go with Maddison and Richarlison. Or Richarlison, 3-5-2. But Mitrovic has been so good, though. That's the only thing. You're kind of... with the thing with Maddison and Richarlison, I mean, Maddison's ticked over a little bit. You're kind of hoping for something which... his stats are okay. I don't think he's done anything out of this world yet, but the Leicester fixtures are good. So Maddison, you're possibly hoping a little bit. And Richarlison, obviously, you're hoping he comes back to form after only a couple of games. Obviously, did well for Brazil. Did score from very few shots. So Mitrovic has been causing problems to defences, shooting a lot, getting into the right positions, getting into the box, taking shots inside the box, etc. Man City next, which is annoying, but the fixtures are okay-ish after that. So I think I quite like Maddison out of those, but I also would like to have Mitrovic as well. So it depends who else you've got on your wild card. Would I keep Mane on a wild card? I mean, I can show you the team I would. In fact, let me just put up the team that I would. Okay, two things. I'm going to show you something on the members area, and that will show you who I would wildcard to. Then I'll show you it. I'll quickly put it up on here. So I'm just going to switch over to, where is it? The members area. So this is something you can, let me just get the chat back up. This is something you can check out. Like I said, link is in the description below if you want to check out the Fantasy Football Scout members area. So one of the things, there's loads of stuff in it, but one of the things is rate my team. So you can put in your team ID, click go. Now, just like Blue Peter, here is one I made earlier. So I did this earlier so I didn't have to do it on stream because there's a lot of changes. But I think this is my current team. Okay, so you can take out all the players that you're going to transfer out. Obviously, I'm not going to transfer out Salah, but you can take out all the players you're thinking of transferring out. Obviously, if you're on a wild card, that's quite a few. And then you can add in whoever, right? I won't do it properly now, but I've done it properly on this screen, which hopefully you can see. Now, the interesting thing is, and you can't see it, I don't think, on screen right now. I'm going to show you now. It will show you the rough score it thinks you're going to get before the transfers, and then the rough score afterwards. So my score before the transfers is 50.71. Now, a couple of things to point out is, let me just hang and get this team back up. Obviously, I'm losing. It's not really given Mkhitaryan a great score against Newcastle because it probably thinks he may not play. Zaha, again, possibly injured, so his score's quite low. Obviously, that would be a bit higher if they thought he was gonna, play. And obviously, Bailly the same thing. I mean, Bailly needs to go. So one thing I'll quickly do now is I could just do my proposed transfer. So proposed transfer would be Alonso in and a 5.9 midfielder. Now, I don't know who it would be because Fraser's possibly out. I don't know if he's been confirmed that yet. So I may take a punt on someone like Damari Gray. So before transfers, it's now saying I would have scored about 50 points this week, 330 over the next 6 game weeks. But if I make my transfers, I'll score 55. And then over the next 6 game weeks, 340 points. So a bit better. So if I just do the 4-point hit, I'm already better off, which I think we know. But obviously Zaha, I am getting quite a low score there for him because they don't think he's going to play, but the chances are he may play now, in which case that 54 could be bumped up. But the long way around of getting to this point is this is my potential wildcard team, which I'll bring on stream in a second. the actual the team, if it looks like. So that's saying 63 points and only 50 before. So it's saying if I wildcard, I'm looking at 63. And I'm looking at 356 points over the next 6 compared to 330. Now, of course, this is just a tool. It's based on the numbers. It won't necessarily get it right every time, but it's pretty consistent in how well it does. And I mean, that's a big increase. And I think most of you know from looking at the team in a sec that it could be a good idea. I don't know if I'd necessarily go for Lingard, but anyway, it's also telling me that Hazard is a better captain than Aguero this week, interestingly. Don't know how many people would agree with that. But anyway, it's a huge points increase. So if you want to check out stuff like that, that's in the members area. Feel free to go and check it out. I'll quickly build the team here now so you can see it. But it's a pretty a big boost. So here we go. Bit of wildcarding. So one thing is, I don't think I would keep Robertson on the wildcard. I'm just saying, I don't think I would keep him. So this is how many players I would remove, including Zaha, who has Huddersfield away and then Newcastle at home, then Bournemouth away and Wolves at home. So pretty nice fixtures. But on a wildcard, I think I'd get rid of him. So let me just quickly build this and then you can rip it apart. Didn't change the keepers. Yeah, I'm not too sure about what to do with keepers yet. So at this rate, if I wildcard now, I've not got too long to decide. A little bit of a worry if Fraser is out, by the way, that Wilson maybe won't do as well now, because Fraser was pretty creative. But Stanislas could be back now, so potentially a good option. Mitrovic, I'm trying to remember who else. Alonso, of course. Don't want to go without him for too much longer. Hazard, Manny was out, Maddison in. That's the only thing as well, going for Gray when I've already got Maddison. I mean, essentially, this is what it would be without placeholders. Charlison back in, and then whatever on the last spots. Can worry about exactly who the players are, but you get a rough idea of the spread of funds. So that is something that I've considered, something like that. Gray over Madison. I mean, it's a bit cheaper. Brighton keepers, not sure about that. Zaha to punish. This is what's going to be really interesting now. So before I wildcarded, everyone telling me I need to wildcard, and now I put the wildcard up, people are going to tell me who's going to punish me that I'm getting rid of and how I've messed this up. But I don't think this is too far off what I would go for. The only thing I don't feel like it's got enough of is a bit of a punt in there. I mean, to be fair, players like Madison are still quite low owned. But getting rid of Robertson, not too happy about that. Richarlison, obviously, I would need a placeholder for him. I can't quite afford Lingard, unfortunately. 0.1 million off. Obviously, all those price drops that I've missed. Not been well. Midfield is weak. I mean, is it? I mean, how would you improve that midfield with the money there? If you don't wildcard now, when do you plan to use it? When I feel like I really need it, but the question is, I don't know if that is right now. I don't know if it is right now. I mean, I can get Alonso in anyway, so really I've just got Hazard instead of Mane. Again, is that a huge deal? Not so sure. And Maddison instead of Walcott. Now, okay, that could be a good one. Salah is good, but not worth 30 million. I mean, Salah's staying for me, like, absolutely. I don't think there's too much question of that from me. For me, anyway. Obviously, you can have your own thoughts on that. Bennett is only 4 million. Even Doherty is cheaper than Bolly. Yeah, Doherty, I would definitely look at. It looks very attacking. I saw someone tweeting out his heat maps earlier. Looked good too. Tried to fit David Silva in. Yeah, of course. I can't actually afford Pedro as a placeholder, by the way. He's 6.8 million like Lingard, so I can't afford that. Unless I could drop Bolly to Doherty maybe, in which case I get Lingard in. Ooh, now that's tempting. What was the one before that? Try to fit David Silva in. Yeah, of course, I'd love to have David Silva in there, but how would you get him in? I mean, it's really something like David Silva and Robertson or Bolly and Hazard. I could get Vardy in as well, get rid of Mitrovic, get Vardy in. Again, could drop Hazard to David Silva and Mitrovic to Vardy. Will you see a live wildcard? I don't. No, I don't think so. I don't know. You refuse to use your wildcard, yet you've been hemorrhaging points for weeks. I mean, as someone pointed out to me, I've still averaged over 60 points for the first 4 game weeks. So if I can carry on a 60 plus average for the rest of the season, I'll be pretty happy. The only way to fit them all in is to go no mo. Yeah, exactly. Don't get the David Silva appeal. He never hauls. I mean, you don't need him to necessarily be getting 14, 15 points. But for 8.5 million, I think he's going to tick over points. He's done pretty well. Like, here's a... Hang on. Let me go... I'm all over the place. Let me go back to this a sec, right? So... Here's another thing you can do. So you can build your own stats tables in the members area. So I've got attacking midfielders. So let's just look at David Silva and Hazard. And Mane, let's just look at Mane. For all matches. Now, obviously, Hazard's not played as many minutes. That's indicated on the front. In fact, let's just get rid of Mane. Because people aren't going to keep him, I don't think. Because of the fixtures. So this is all the midfielders. You can look at them all in one go if you want. But I'm just going to look at the 2 selected players. So this is all matches so far. So they've played pretty much the same minutes. So Hazard has a couple more goal attempts. But shots inside the box, Silva's actually higher. So Hazard's only had 4. So penalty area touch is the same. But I don't know. When I watch Hazard, I just don't think he wants... And I've said it before, and I'm going to... It backfired on me in the last game. But just doesn't look like he's got that killer instinct or that want to score the goal. Obviously, he wants to create the goal, and that's fair. He's obviously a great player, but... I don't know. It's just... It's not that he's not got an eye for goal. I don't know the best way to explain it. Maybe, hopefully you know what I mean. But he just gets into the box. His first instinct is not to shoot like other midfielders would be. Like maybe Sanchez in the past, or I don't want to say Ronaldo, but that was a long time ago. But hopefully you know what I mean. So only 4 shots inside the box, but only 223 minutes as well. And obviously a lot of chances created. But again, Silva's created more chances. So stats-wise, Silva I think looks pretty good for 2.2 million less. I think that's one thing to consider here. But Hazard has looked absolutely on the ball, obviously getting his minutes up now. Good fixtures to come as well. But so Silva, he's got Fulham next. So I think they're both good options, and I'm not saying that Hazard is not a good option, but you've got to think about the price difference, 2.2 million. Will Hazard massively outscore Silva over the next few fixtures? I'm not so sure. But that's something else I've been looking at as well. So you can compare people in that members area. If you want to check that out, links are all in the description below. And also, one thing to say about Hazard too. Where is he? Now, don't get me wrong. He's embarrassed Man United on several occasions before. But after Cardiff, it's West Ham away. Okay, West Ham looking like a good fixture. But then it's Liverpool and Man United the next 3 after that. So the next couple of fixtures are good. After that, Liverpool, Man United at home, Southampton away in between. I mean, he could do well, of course. I don't know. There's something about Hazard. I mean, and maybe it's just me making the wrong call, of course. No Salah can be covered up in a way by the likes of David Silva, Hazard and Mane put together. There could be, I mean, let's have a look then at a Salah-less team. I'm not sure I'd go Mane. I don't think Mane would be straight in my picks just because I don't have Salah. I don't feel like I want Liverpool coverage just for the sake of it. If I don't think Mane is necessarily a good option, then I just won't go for him. So let's say I went for David Silva. And let's say we keep Robertson. Then you got 3.1 million to spend. 9.7 million on a midfielder. Or perhaps you get Vardy in. So let's now this is getting into dodgy territory now. No Salah, no Mane. No, I've not done it yet, Tesso. Just playing around for the people. Aaron Ramsey? Probably not Ramsey. but you kind of can see what kind of money you can spend. A very weak team. There you go. But I don't know. Vardy could be a nice differential. I mean, how much is he owned by? How many people is he owned by? 3.2%. I mean, that's so low. Look at their fixtures: Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Newcastle, Everton, and then even the ones like Arsenal are good fixtures for him. Ramsey, 1.2% owned. Maddison, 3.6% owned. Ramsey's played 2 out of 2 now. Sorry, he's played 90 minutes in the last 2 is what I mean. Maybe upgrade Cedric to Pereira. Depends who else I go for. So obviously that's not necessarily what you need to do. Like, I could keep Zaha and spend 9.4 million on Ramsey. Not on Ramsey, on a different midfielder. But then there's no one really in that 8-ish, apart from David Silva, in the 8-ish to 9 million mark. There's not really too many players I think I'd want. It's kind of Salah, Mane, Hazard. I mean, Ali would have potentially been an option, but he looks like he's out now. So not going to go for him. The polls, Daniel says, the polls. We'll do the poll. We're better off the polls. Your timing's all off. Another 20 minutes or so. Getting Lukaku up front. Now we're talking my language. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. But you only have 5.4 million to spend. Lukaku just takes a lot out of the budget. Yeah, it could go Ings, but not sure about that. Although, hang on, get rid of Robertson. Let's get me. What's his name back? Yeah, Doherty. 7 million then. Oof. Yanks with the $1. Thanks very much, my man. The biased FPL show of Lukaku. Lukaku to Lacazette. I like if Lacazette. If I could guarantee Lacazette was going to play, yeah, I'd get him in. J-Lings or Pogba? I think I'd get J-Lings. Could get J-Lings in there, but double Man United attack. I can see that going very wrong. Very wrong indeed. You got both Aguero and Lukaku. Lukaku's going to get better. I mean, if you think about that team there, Lukaku, Hazard, David Silva, and Aguero. Lukaku, David Silva, Hazard, Aguero. So 4 pretty big hitters. And my current team is Salah, Mane, and Aguero. They're the only real big hitters. And that team includes Alonso as well. So maybe I could do better. I wonder, since Ali is injured, if Eriksen will be more prominent. Yeah, he might do. I think he's had quite a few shots, but not many in the box. I don't think he's been getting that far forward as maybe he had done before. Although he probably isn't that kind of player that gets a lot of shots in the box. I think just the way they've been playing with kind of more further up front than Kane. Wilson out for Sorloth, Benteke injured. Nah. Will Sorloth even definitely play? Maybe they'll just go with Zaha up front on his own. How's it going, Twisted? Push the button. Should play that team. Try that team and then rate my team. Oh, God, okay. I'd have to... hang on a sec. Let me see if I kept up the rate my team from before. Of course I didn't. What an idiot. Hang on, let me see if I can just get it back without... oh, yeah. Okay. Let me put it up on the screen for you guys to see. Okay, so who did I change? Lukaku. Well, I can't remember what it was before now. I think it was 60. Was it 60 or 63? I think it was 63. So Lukaku. I need to see it now. Hang on. David Silva and Hazard. Hang on. I'm all over the place here. So David Silva instead of Lingard. Oh, David Silva. I know, I got such a good feeling about David Silva. It's just very hard to fit him in. No Salah. No Salah. It was like a 7 million midfielder. So let's just put Lingard back in. Let's just say for argument's sake, we're going double Man United attack because why not? I think that is the team. Bolly, Doherty. Come on. Doherty. So it's about 63, so it's about the same. Not too much difference, to be honest. Apart from a few differentials here or there. For those that were asking. Trippier thoughts. It's a lot of money for someone that could get rotated. I suppose it depends how often you think he's going to rotate. And I know people say, well, you can just have someone on the bench. But if he gets rotated in an easy game, that is super frustrating. Not sure we have enough information to hand to suggest David Silva is definitely nailed. Yeah, potentially. Pedro in the final spot, then easy switch to Richarlison. I'm not sure about Pedro. Honestly, I think if I had 6.8 million to spend, I would just go for Lingard as a placeholder for Richarlison. I know Pedro's probably quite certain to start this week, but the week after, who knows? Yeah, no, I would keep Maddison. For sure. Let me get rid of this. So, Lukaku, my man. I'm probably not going to go Lukaku. I'd probably go Vardy at most. Vardy. Oh, 17.6 million. Shame I got to buy 2 players. 4.6. There you go. I'll just play 4-3-3. Job done. Of course I wouldn't, no. That would have to be back to Mitrovic. Mitrovic. Yeah. Oh, 6 point. Oh, yeah, because I've gone for Doherty now. Do you know what? That's pretty tempting. That's pretty tempting now. I can get Lingard. That's so stupid. But hey, that's just how I want to ruin my FPL season. There you go. What about that? I think that's more realistic about what I would go for. I mean, what do we think of Callum Wilson? Do we think he's going to keep it up? Again, we have only had 4 game weeks of data. But then how much do we need? I don't know. Even if in 8 weeks' time, if Wilson's still smashing it, then I guess that's a bit different. But what if in 4 weeks' time from now, someone's doing really good, but it's only in the last 4 game weeks? Do we disregard that? Probably not. And how far back do you go for form? I don't think you're looking for 8 weeks' worth of data. So I thought about Wildcard for J Lings. Yeah, exactly. It's the only reason. In the ideal world, like 38 game weeks there. Well, we can go on what happened last year then. Yeah, exactly. Wilson, form and fixtures. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say I distrust Bournemouth, to be honest. Not sure I fully agree with that. The Fantasy Football stat page suggested you pick Hazard over Aguero. Yeah, of course, that's just a guide. It thinks that Hazard may marginally outscore Aguero. I personally think that the Fulham game is a better fixture than Cardiff. I know that Warnock kind of come out and said that he was going to attack, but I still think Fulham's the better fixture for goals. I think City the better team attacking-wise. So going to go for Aguero. But I think the one thing with Man City is their goals are probably going to be more spread than maybe Chelsea's are. And Hazard's probably going to be more likely to be more involved. But I still think Aguero's got that hat-trick in him. Not quite sure that Hazard has. But the thing I really like about Hazard is he's got this really good tendency that when he gets attacking returns, whether it be assists or goals or whatever, he picks up the bonus points. Ozil, I can't do it. Can't do that. 352 offers more points potential. Interesting. I mean, with the way that team is set out, I'm not sure there's too much I would do differently by going 352. And I think the forwards are performing pretty well. Like Ings, for example, I feel like people have gone off Ings a little bit. But when I'm looking at him, bringing him in on a wildcard, if I can actually click the right button, obviously he's got that Liverpool game that he can't play in, so he's got priority at home. But then it's Wolves away, and Wolves have been defending so far pretty well, and then Chelsea at home. So I think Ings on wildcard is not a good option. Even though, of course, he's been doing really well for his price, but I've kind of discounted getting Ings at this point, I think. So I think if I was going to go 3-4-3, it would be Wilson and Mitrovic currently. Feel uneasy in not owning Spurs assets. They've got good fixtures coming up, agreed. I'm not too bothered about them right now. I don't think I would pay 9.4 million for Eriksen. I don't think I want to pay 12.5 million for Kane. Lucas Moura, for sure, if he's going to keep his spot, I think looks like a good bet. But again, his stats at least are not fantastic. I think he scored 3 goals from 3 shots on target. He's not going to keep that up the whole season. So I'm not too bothered about not owning Spurs players. You just can't. Liverpool assets seem a bit tight. Yeah, I'm not fully comfortable with getting rid of Robertson, to be honest. Well, I would get Jesse Lingard though, so maybe it's worth it. Yeah, the problem with 352, I don't think there is enough midfielder talent that I'd really want. Not at the price that I can afford. I mean, with this structure, I'd be getting rid of Mitrovic, for example, for a 4.5. So straight away I'm getting in a player that won't play up front. Granted, Højbjerg is not going to score me loads of points. And then I'm getting in a midfield for around 6.7. So who? Pedro, Richarlison? Maybe Richarlison. But I'm probably not going to need Lingard long term. I'd want to keep Robertson. He's like owning the midfielder capable of clean sheet points. Yeah, I get it, but it's very hard to fit him in with Hazard, I'm finding. Now, maybe it's because my team value is pretty low. To what extent are you not hitting the button because you missed the price? Not at all. I mean, I honestly don't get that logic, because if I wait till next week, I've still missed those price rises. So, like, what's the difference, really? He said a Lingard gets Schürrle. Yeah, but I don't know if I want Schürrle and Mitrovic, to be honest. You need Pereira or Chilwell. I wouldn't say you need them. I mean, yeah, they'd be good options, I think. Chilwell especially, I like. Morata could be dropped, Pedro, Willian and Hazard up top. Yeah, and if that happens, then I think suddenly, obviously, Pedro becomes a much better option. But it's kind of a case of we think it might happen, it may never do. And how long do you wait to wildcard because of that? Would life be made easier if Fraser was confirmed fit? Maybe a little bit. I could go Lingard to Fraser at free at one. I still don't think that's enough to get Robertson back in though. Look at the Leicester and Bournemouth defensive rotation. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of rotating defenders. Next week there'll be some different bandwagons to jump on and thus make money. But if you look at the fixtures, who is suddenly going to become obviously, if we knew the answer to my next question, FPL would be a lot easier. But who's going to become a bandwagon? I mean, a Man City player, we've already got Aguero. Even if Jesus hauled, unless Aguero got injured, I wouldn't go for him. And Man City mids, yeah, of course they can haul, but you know, we don't know if they're definitely going to play. Maybe if a Spurs player did well against Liverpool, we'd want one of their players. Man United assets again, potentially Lukaku. He's 11 million. It's very hard to fit in. So I don't know if there is suddenly going to be a bandwagon that easily stands out that I think I would want. Ramsey, yeah, Could do. Begovic and Schmeichel. That's a bit expensive, I think. The VAR that's being used at this weekend's games is not going to affect the games at all. They're just testing whether they can do it. Lukaku is the next bandwagon once Aguero is dropped for a Champions League game. Yeah, if Aguero does get dropped, that would be interesting. Shaw, we don't know about Shaw yet. Mourinho will have a press conference tomorrow. And then we'll find out. Do 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 do. 9.5. It's more than I want to spend on goalkeepers. Kante. How do you vote in the polls? There's a little eye in the top right hand corner. Just click on that and you can vote. We'll do them in about 10 minutes. Thanks for the receipt. No worries, Jack. Is Vardy a good option? I think, yeah, with his pedigree, his fixtures, good option. It'd be nice if Leicester were a bit more attacking, but Vardy's pretty clinical. Yeah, Vardy could be the bandwagon, yeah. I've not activated the wildcard now, just looking at options. Change Wilson to Vardy and Salah to Mane. Nah. If I drop Salah, I don't get Mane, I think, honestly. Maybe that's a mistake, but it's just the way it is. I think I'd go Vardy because I'm still not comfortable that Lacazette's definitely going to play every week. And I just don't know how much he'd have to play before I'd be confident that he's going to keep playing. If Fraser is out, is Demarai Gray your preferred option around that price? I think it depends. Like, if I've got Maddison in somehow, then probably, I don't know if I would double on the Leicester midfield. Although they have got good fixtures. But yeah, I think Demarai Gray for around that price. Just given their fixtures. From the eye test, I think he's done okay. I don't know if he's been that much of a goal threat, but causes defence quite a few problems. I quite like Demarai Gray because he's a bit of a flair pick as well. Zaha I'm not too sure about, to be honest, if he's going to start or not. People seem quite confident that he's going to. I don't know how many of those are Zaha owners. Why not Robertson? I'm not sat here thinking I absolutely have to get rid of Robertson, to be honest. But I think if I wildcarded right now, I probably would, just to fit in a bunch of players elsewhere. Hazard to be the next Mertens up front. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. And look, if it happens, then fair play to those that called it. Obviously, don't know how long he's going to stick with Morata for. Do I still do the Patreon shout-outs? Yeah, I did the Patreon shout-outs earlier. You don't need to do that. Like, if anyone wants to go and follow Jack the Cat, he's... Hang on. At FPL Jack the Cat on Twitter, if anyone wants to go and follow him. Pretty confident Zaha will play some part given Palace's injury concerns. Yeah, a lot of people saying that. Zaha will start. My cousin is part of the Palace medical team. I'm going to have to see proof of that. Captain Fabianski. Oh, please tell me that's not your dare for this week. I'm guessing it's a wildcard or a hit from the ALONSO. Yeah, pretty much. In fact, let's take the wildcard team off for now. We'll do the polls. If you haven't already, by the way, hit like on the video if you're enjoying the stream. Be much appreciated. Gone nearly a whole hour without saying that. Can you believe it? What does your FPL ID actually mean? It's just the ID of your team, like what number you signed up, basically. All these midfielders and strikers in the 5.5 to 7 million range, we have to ask if they'll outscore premium defenders. Yeah, it's a good question, and maybe they won't. In fact, let's build a couple of other teams, right? So let's do let's do a 4-4-2 team. Probably shouldn't have done that, should I? There's always going to be players that was stupid. Not going to lie, gents and ladies. So let's say we keep Robertson. We go for Alonso. We go for Trippier, I guess. We got no money left. It's all gone Pete Tong. Mitrovic. I know 4-4-2, right? Let's say we go Mitrovic. See if we can afford it. I mean, straight away, obviously, I'm going to get in a striker that's not going to play, probably. And let's say we still need Hazard. I've not actually checked the 4-4-2 team, I'm going to be honest. 11.9 million. Quick maths says that I can't do Lingard and Maddison. 5.3, I mean, that is not a lot of money left. Even if I went, hang on, Wilson instead of Mitrovic. 5.8, so I could get, I don't know. I don't even know, because I don't know if I'd want Gray or Fraser at that point. I mean, that's 4-4-2. Could go 4-5-1. How could I forget? I'm just an idiot. How's it going, Tom? Good to see you. Of course, I'm forgetting that the real 4-4-2 should be like this. Boom. Luke Shaw. Trent in for Robertson. Maybe. Which pocket is my wildcard in? The right one. Always the right one. Never the left. Team value seems rubbish. Yeah, I've probably taken a little bit of a hit on team value. 4-5-1, not happening. No, definitely not. Not interested. I just... no, I don't like wildcarding. I would have maybe started the season at 4-5-1. I don't think I would wildcard into a 4-5-1. Have two forwards that aren't going to play, and that if it really goes wrong, that's a lot of hits probably to turn it around. What's my opinions on the criticism for the latest Scoutcast? You missed. I think some of the fine people didn't like it. I think some of it was really over the top. Do I prefer the old cast? It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? People keep going on about Mark and Granville. They're not doing it anymore. Simple as that. So yeah, I'm happy with who's on, of course. And the stuff that people didn't like is already going to get canned, and hopefully we can just push on from there. Plus, I won the quiz, so genius. Maybe next stream I'll do an hour-long quiz. How about that? Thoughts on Lucas? I think the Ali news makes him maybe a little bit better for a little bit longer. Long term, I'm not so sure though. But the fixtures are good, so if you've got him already, I'd probably keep. I don't know if I'd bring him in though. Mark's current FPL position has got nothing to do with him not being on the Scoutcast. Absolutely zero. Wildcard into game team rally? No, definitely not. I would have done it earlier if that was the case. Unpopular prediction that Aguero will blank this weekend? Maybe, but I mean, why do you think that? Because I mean, that's something that's quite easy to say, and no one's ever going to call you up on it. They'll forget you said it, I guess. It'd be interesting to know why you think Aguero will blank in such a good fixture. At a rank of 476k, have you already adjusted your expectations? Nope, I think there's so much of the season left that there's plenty of time to catch up. Like top 10k, top 5k would be the starting hope. Obviously, top 1k, top 100 would be nice, but I mean, the amount of people that are playing and the amount of good people that are playing these days is getting harder and harder to get into that top 10k. So, not reassessing just yet, to be honest. Only someone without Aguero would think you're blank. I can't even... What was the guy that said it now? Simeon. Come on, Simeon. Give us your reasons. Fulham... hang on. Fulham will have more possession than people think. Yeah, maybe. Won't let Aguero have so many chances. Sterling looks sharp. I mean, Sterling outscoring Aguero is not a bad shout, to be fair. Mark's not on the Scoutcast because of personal reasons. He just wants to take some time off from it. That's why, basically. Personal and health reasons, I think he said. But you've seen him on, like, I think he was on the Breakfast Club and stuff as well. So he's not completely gone, but he's just not going to be doing the Scoutcast week in, week out. I don't believe in Wildcard now. We still didn't see the European teams rotation. Yeah, but I mean, I think European rotation is honestly blown out of proportion a little bit. I mean, how often really is the likes of Mane, Salah, Hazard, Aguero going to get rotated? If they get rotated for more than one kind of group game, I'd be surprised for the most part. Okay, let's do the polls. Give you 30 more seconds to vote on them, top right hand corner. My opinion on defenders as captains is don't go there. I would never go there. You go with whatever you like. Obviously, it's your team, but I won't go there. No chance. Double game week, maybe. But again, if a defender's better in a double game week, the attacker's also better in the double game week. Just tuning in your wildcard. No. Do you know if there are any jobs going for the scout? I don't know. You'd have to contact them. Wonder how long these premium defenders will last. I know it's so. I know you have to adapt. Of course, you have to adapt with how the season's going and what players are performing in FPL. But it's great that Alonso, Mendy, and Robertson are good options. But I hate having that much money in defence. And I know you can say, well, just transfer them out, but they're doing well, so why would I? Obviously, I'm looking to get more into defence with Alonso rather than take him out. So, yeah, I don't like it though. It's so boring having money in defence. I want to put all my money in attack and just go for it. Have I considered using my free hit? No, definitely not. And yeah, that's a good point from Hugh, actually. Who was the guy that came on the Scoutcast? Barrett, I want to say. He started off with premium defenders, start of the season, and then slowly moved into not having them. Now, to be fair, there wasn't the likes of Mendy, Robertson, Alonso, but could move off them soon enough. And that's the thing with FPL, it does change pretty quickly, or it can change quickly. So we'll see. Anyway, let me do the polls before I completely forget and Daniel has a meltdown. That would not be good for any of us. Okay, so I wonder what the consensus will be whether I should wildcard. Hang on a second. Okay, so best midfielder under 7 million. 51% saying wait on Richarlison. That's a big lot of loving for Richarlison. I'm a little bit surprised that it's that far ahead, actually. But obviously he did so well before he got the red card. So 22% saying Maddison, only 19% for Pedro. So Pedro the third pick. Lingard only 2%. I'm disappointed in you all, if I'm honest. And then 5% someone else. So wait on Richarlison is 51%. Interesting. Should I wildcard? 48% of you said absolutely. So less than 50%. 37% said no, you can get away with it. And 14% said no, you're bored of hearing about the wildcard. Fair enough, I hear. What to do with Mkhitaryan? 52% saying sell if he's free. 23% saying sell even if it's for a hit. So quite a large majority saying we should sell him. And only 24% saying keep him. Keep Robertson over the tougher fixtures. Yes, 69%. So a lot of love again for Robertson. And obviously the rest said no. And then what are you doing with Salah? This has got to be keep. Yeah, keeping or buying 68%. Don't own or selling, obviously, the remaining 32%. There you go. There are your polls. The 2% are United fans. They could well be. Please don't leave Mane out. Trippier isn't the best defensively. Exactly. I want to keep Mane and Salah. I'm going to be honest. I might just take the hit and go for Alonso. Keep Walcott. Now, if Walcott is confirmed injured tomorrow, and do we have a Bournemouth press conference yet? Let's see them bad news about King or something. Then I may wildcard tomorrow. I think Mkhitaryan's going to be my Alonso moneymaker. And then I'm going to go from there. And I think if Walcott plays, I think I'm okay with him. Like a little bit unlucky. Yeah, okay, he wasn't doing amazingly well against Huddersfield, which a good fixture like that is a bit frustrating. But West Ham away up next, I'm okay with that if he's going to play. So I think this will probably be my transfer. And in some ways, I could get Schürrle, by the way. So Schürrle is an option. But I don't know if I'm probably going to wildcard over the next few weeks, whether I really want to bring in a player that's got Arsenal and Man City in the next 4. So I probably wouldn't get him. But a little part of me is kind of looking forward to getting a bit of a flair pick in grey. Could go for is it Gazelle? I'm sure it's not pronounced like that. You know, I think grey's a little bit flair pick. Maybe just a rubbish pick. But then I have to keep Josh King. Will Zaha play? And the problem as well is, let's say Zaha doesn't play, then all I'm going to think is he's going to play the next game, so maybe I'll keep him. Then I'm another week down with a player that's not definitely going to start, and who knows, are his fixtures that good? They're okay, I think. But obviously he's coming back from an injury. It was not a huge injury, of course, but I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I can afford Fraser. If Fraser's... I don't think we've had a Bournemouth press conference. Someone tell me if we have. If Zaha and Walcott don't play, you must play Stevens. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, does it? Walcott news suggests he has failed to recover from his injury. Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow, I guess. Well, hopefully we'll find out. I don't want any more of this we'll see rubbish late fitness test. Okay, so Howe's not done one yet. Fair enough. Bench looks a bit like every week, to be honest. He wasn't seen at Bournemouth training. Okay, so not good for Fraser. So probably not an option for me, which is a shame because I was thinking about him. Maybe I'll just wildcard. Mitrovic, Wilson, Hazard, Lingard, most importantly. But if Wilson goes up in price, I can't afford Lingard then. That is a nightmare. Benteke's injured and Tompkins and Zaha were picture training. Okay, well Tompkins being fit is good for Van Bissaka. Do you think it'd be worth Salah out if it allows me to get Hazard and Mane in? I still prefer Salah, to be honest, out of all those. Yeah, Wilson does look like he's going up in price tonight. But again, another thing to consider, I would have to get rid of Robertson for the wild card that I was looking at earlier. I'll just quickly do this before we kind of sign off and stuff, right? So if you try and keep Robertson, obviously for a start, I don't change too much from the team it is now. Which I straight away actually don't really like that much because it feels like the wild card's not even worth it then. But let's say I go for a 4... Let's say I keep Robertson, right? Hazard. Get the 4.4. I could go for Hudson-Odoi. Only 5.3 million now. Ah, so many changes every time. I don't know why I keep resetting it. Villason and Michlovic. Madison. It's not going to leave me much money. That's the problem. Yeah, 5.2. That's the problem with keeping Robertson. And one in Hazard. If you wildcard now, you won't get the benefit of Champions League rotation. Yeah, no, true. But even then, they might not rest them this week for the Champions League. They might rest them after the Champions League. So you're still not necessarily going to get any info if you want a wildcard next week. Doherty to Bennett. Yeah, they've got 5.6 million to spend. But again, who do I buy? I don't really like many of the players around there. Not for long term anyway. If you save wildcard, will you wait until next international break? Not necessarily, no. It could even get paid in game week 6, which is what tempts me to play it this week. Your team will never be so awful. It needs a complete overhaul. Yeah, definitely not. I do agree with that. Salah's had a better start than last season in terms of FPL points. That's a nice stat. Does have pretty bad fixtures now, though. I mean, if Fraser wasn't in training, he probably hasn't recovered, I would assume. The Walcott drop doesn't affect me. I checked that. Aguero will be the captain for sure. Lacazette worth a punt? Not for me, I don't think. Game week 6 will be worse to wildcard on that decision on lift passes. Yeah, exactly. It'll be harder to take out Robertson and Mane next week with Southampton at home. But then if it's that hard, then maybe that's a good reason not to wildcard and keep him. Bad fixtures don't exist for Salah yet. Alright, I think I'm going to leave it there. I could go on and on about wildcarding. Could be here forever. I will let you know if I hit the button. I'm still thinking about it. I honestly don't know. So part of me tells me to just use it, get it over with, and stop worrying about it. And it'll be job done. We don't know about Walcott yet. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I will let you know if I wildcard. And look, if I do, maybe there will be a stream of some kind at some point to quickly go through it. But for now, I would say I'm not doing it. Mkhitaryan out, Gray in, Alonso in for buy. Don't know how good that really sounds of having to get Gray in. Maybe I just don't get Alonso. Maybe that's the consideration here. Everyone banging on about Alonso. Maybe I shouldn't get him. But yeah, otherwise next stream will be... there's Monday games this week. It'll be it's only Southampton and Brighton. I may just stream on Sunday, to be honest. It's only Southampton and Brighton on Monday. So yeah, possibly a stream on Sunday. If not, it'll be Monday, 9:30 PM. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Comment below and tell me how rubbish my team is and how rubbish I am at FPL. Much appreciated. I will catch you next time. Thank you very much.